Finally. Good golly, Miss Molly. Top 5 Tuesday, everybody. I was at that for some time. I'm going to have to make a new wheel and just get rid of all the stuff that we've already done, and then it won't take so long to actually get a response out of it. By the way, if you have any more top 5s, we were kind of running out there, so hey, why don't you submit some? Anyway, Top 5 Tuesday, and it is pinball tables. Huge fan of pinball, this person, and I have played many tables in my time, and I think I could come up with a reasonable top 5. So number 5, I'm going to say... already it's starting well. I'll probably say Black Hole. I'm a fan of that table, and the main reason is of the upside down bit. So it's a fairly standard table when all's said and done. I think it was 70s. Was it 70s? So it's fairly basic. It's got some nice ideas, and it is a lot of fun to play because you know what you're getting with Black Hole. But the very exciting bit about Black Hole is the fact that it's got this... I'm not really sure how it works. So you've got the main play field, and you've got your flippers and all that. I think it's got multiple flippers. I mean, it definitely has, because there's another separate play field that's upside down, and it's pretty incredible when you get your ball into there and suddenly your gravity is reversed. It's amazing. It's actually mirrored. To destroy any illusion for you, it's a mirror, and it's mirroring part of the playfield underneath. But still extremely cool, and a very nice table indeed. Unfortunately, I never played it in person, but I would love to. See also Haunted House, basically the same thing, but with a different theme. Number 4, Black Knight 2000, simply because of the music. I honestly can't remember a great deal about Black Knight 2000. It's a lot of fun, I will say that. It is an enjoyable table, and I think, again, it's got a secondary playfield. Can't remember off the top of my head. This is a great top 5, isn't it? From a supposed pinball fan. But yes, the music is just some of the best music I've ever heard. In any entertainment, video games, pinball, films, music, whatever. It's amazing. And I shall put a link to it in the description, actually, so you can hear it. And maybe I'll put a link to this amazing cover version that I found as well. Anyway, Black Knight 2000. Number 3 is going to be Twilight Zone, I think. The only reason this is number 3 and not higher is because I'm not massively familiar with the Twilight Zone. I would like to watch it. It seems like a fun thing. And I just find the table ridiculously difficult. I can't seem to keep the ball in play for very long. But I know that's just me, because the table is one of the highest rated ever. It's by Williams, so of course it is. In fact, I'm pretty sure. I think with the exception of Black Hole, that being a Bally table, the rest of them are Williams. Williams made good pinball. Anyway, yes, number 3, Twilight Zone. I love that table. It's got tons of stuff to do. It's got a lot of nice ideas in it. I don't want to go too in depth because I don't want to run over my time, and I could easily do so talking about pinball. I suspect if I knew more about the show, then I'd probably be able to relate some of it back. But it's a fun table even if you don't know anything about it. There's a lot to do, essentially. Number 2, Addams Family. I like the Addams Family a lot. And not just the table. I like the TV show and I like the films. Brilliant. And I liked Wednesday as well. There were some grievances I had with Wednesday, but I liked it overall. It was pretty good. Addams Family pinball table. It's actually quite similar to Twilight Zone. And indeed, to be fair, Williams tables are all kind of similar in terms of... how do I describe it? It's kind of like you start off and you've got like a load of flashing lights and targets to hit, and you kind of hit one of them, and then you're given a quest, essentially, a mission to do, and it's like hit X 5 times, or hit Y 5 times, or get around the orbit 5 times, or whatever. It's all very similar, really. But it's the narrative that draws you in, and it's the purpose by which you're doing it. Because if it just said, hey, you've got to hit this orbit 5 times, well, it wouldn't be very exciting, would it? If there was no voice clips and if there was no fun out sound effects and audio and animations and stuff, then it wouldn't be a very exciting experience. And that's what makes Williams tables so great, is the fact that they're compelling in ways other than the game. But the game itself is really great as well. So, Addams Family, you've got, in addition to a very solid game of pinball with some... I haven't quite figured out the rules just yet because I haven't had a whole lot of opportunity to play the physical table. They've got one at Arcade Club, but somebody's always on it. It is clear enough. Like it said, I don't know. I don't know how best to describe pinball because it's such a nebulous thing. Like you hit a ball into a target, but the point is the objectives and the scoring methods and the ways you can get a high score are themselves very clearly laid out. In that it just tells you, hey, hit this thing 5 times. But you've got things like the Thing animatronic that comes out and grabs the ball. You've got the graveyard, which are all... come on, brain. Don't you know anything about pinball? The things that bounce the ball around. Bumpers. Bumpers? There is another name for them, but we'll call them bumpers. It's a graveyard, and then you've got the greed, the bookcase, and it's just a little metal case for the ball that's got like a magnet in it, but it's a bookcase. I don't know. I just like it a lot. It's a lot of fun to play, and it's funny as well, you know. But speaking of funny and fun to play, and I can actually describe this one a bit better as well. Medieval Madness is my number 1. Yes, above No Good Gophers. No Good Gophers is so good as well, but I don't know, it isn't quite... it should have gone really, but I like a bit of variety in my top 5s. Anyway, No Good Gophers is too good. But Medieval Madness. The theme is fantastic. You've got to knock down a load of castles and then defeat a king at the end. Simple enough, but you've also got to save maidens from dragons, and you've also got to win jousting competitions and lay siege to villages. You know, the standard standard day in the life of a king or queen. The voice acting, again, is very funny. It's got some really good jokes in it. Some of the stereotypes are a little bit dated nowadays, but hey, it doesn't do too badly. The objectives, once again, very clear. So it's actually a fairly simple table layout. You've got 2, I think, slingshots and an orbit around the back. And, I mean, there's a couple of bumpers, but they're kind of secondary. I can't remember the actual name for them. They're not called bumpers, they're called something else. And then the main centerpiece, which is the castle, and it's got this big plastic castle in the middle of the playfield, and you can hit the door. It's got a little swinging door, and then the portcullis opens, and you can knock the ball into the castle and blow it up. And the best bit about that is the towers of the castle are actually hinged. So when you blow the castle up by getting the ball inside it, the castle shakes and moves around, and it explodes. Actually, like, once it's done exploding, it sort of lies down flat. It's brilliant. And then the portcullis closes and it builds back up. I think there's something else that happens as well. There's some other interactive element of the table, but it's clear as to what you're supposed to do. So the idea is to get the highest score, you've essentially got to save at least 1 maiden, kill at least 2 trolls, win a jousting competition, I think incite a village revolt, yes, and joust, castle, dragon, troll, and catapult. If you get all 5 of those and then get the ball into a saucer without missing basically, or losing your ball, you get multi-ball madness, and that is just so much fun. It's got an insane multi-ball. You get, the more you do, the more balls you get, and then the higher the score you can get if you can keep control of them. It's called madness for a reason. And then, of course, the royal madness, when you knock over all the castles and then you get to fight the king. Oh man, so much fun, and it draws you in. It really does draw you in, like any good pinball table. No Good Gopher should have been number 2, actually. I completely forgot about it. I'm going to talk about it, whatever. We've already run over. Screw it. No Good Gophers, kind of similar to Medieval Madness, really. It's not got a medieval theme, it's got a golf theme, and that sounds extremely boring. Except, you're trying to have a nice game of golf, but first of all, you're terrible at it, and second, there's 2 gophers that are there to ruin your day. And it's the humour that really draws you in. But there's something in No Good Gophers that I don't think I've seen in another table. I'll describe that in a second. It's, similar sort of layout. You've got a couple of orbits and, a slingshot orbit. I can't remember what they're called now. My pinball knowledge is kind of rusty. And, there's a few other bits and pieces to hit. But the key thing, there's a couple of key things. There's the 2 gophers that are little plastic toys that pop out. Hit them and you get some points. And there's also a golf cart that you can hit. Now, the idea is to obviously get as many hole-in-ones as you can. And, to do that, you've got to play pinball well, and not get your ball stolen by the gophers. That can happen. But the thing that it does that I've not seen any other table do is there's a separate part of the playfield, and when you launch a ball, that part lowers. And if you time it just right and you get the angle just right, you go straight onto this upper playfield, hit the golf cart, and if you're really good, then you can get a hole-in-one immediately. It's things like that make pinball so satisfying. Nailing shots like that and being able to pull them off consistently. That's the quality of pinball. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I have gone significantly over this time because of course I have, even with talking quickly. Don't forget, folks, pinball is not about luck, it's all about skill. Thank you very much for watching, I'll see you all tomorrow. Had that one. Pretty sure we've had that one. Oh man, the list, I really should redo this. Just take out all the ones that we've already done. I've even done siege weapons. Come on. God's sake. No. I did that one the other week. Please. No, we've done that one. And that one. And that one.